It is with great sadness that we announce the passing of Maria Louis, better known as Maclina, Ama, or Masson, a resident of Crown Lands who resided at La Pointe Dennery. She passed away on Saturday, 11th March 2023 at the OKEU Hospital at approximately 8:25 a.m. She was 87 years old. Left to mourn her husband, Gonzague Louis, better known as Appa, of Crown Lands, Bexon. Her 7 children, Sabina Joseph, better known as Lane, in New Orleans, Louisiana; Veronica James, better known as Linda, in Hartford, Connecticut; Judith Marie Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Cletus Louis, better known as Apo, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Virginia Louis, better known as Virgie, in Brooklyn, New York; Cecilia Louis Emmanuel, better known as Madame Roland, of La Pointe Dennery, who was also her caretaker; Richard Louis, also known as Vincent, of Crown Lands, Bexon. 3 sisters, Jane Mark, also known as Connelly, of Auger and family; Geraldine Edgar, also known as Greta, of Larissus and Villefort; Josephine Edgar, also known as Priest, of Labry and family; 2 brothers, Emmanuel Edgar, also known as Fitz, of Bexon and family; Jameson Edgar, of Denrivier and Dennery and family; 21 grandchildren, Gina Ebanks, of Stratford, Connecticut; Casey Fulgence, of Bridgeford, Connecticut; Mickey Fulgence, of Bridgeford, Connecticut; Tara Linash, of Bridgeford, Connecticut; Dylan Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Suhel Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Kurt Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Richardson Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Kedine Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Kevon Louis, of La Pointe Dennery; Denzel Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Edwin Louis, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Donovan Joseph, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Ellen Richard, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Karen Joseph, of Rodney Heights, Crozet; Nicole Vincent, of La Pointe Dennery; Liana Daniel, of Tidonfair Monchy; Darlie George, of Hartford, Connecticut; Samantha Joseph, also known as Sammy, of Crown Lands, Bexon; Lanston James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Lorno James, of Hartford, Connecticut. 22 great-grandchildren, Harley Fulgence, of Bridgeford, Connecticut; Jaden Ebanks, of Stratford, Connecticut; Miles James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Dylan James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Aja James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Daquan James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Khalid James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Jula James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Janice James, of Hartford, Connecticut; Tia Joseph, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Talia Joseph, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Jael Joseph, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Hadassah Joseph, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Ava Richard, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Aidan Richard, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Anna Richard, of New Orleans, Louisiana; Derwin Louis, of Bexon; Hannah Daniel of Tidofe Moshi, Joel Louis of Tidofe Moshi, Dira Daniel of Tidofe Moshi, Kinai Daniel of Tidofe Moshi, Ciara Octave, also known as Summer of Crownlands, Bexo. One godson, Thomas St. Rose of Maryland, USA. Best friend, Mary Bernadette St. Rose, also known as Ma Donald of Cul-de-Sac. Stepson, Joseph Henry, also known as Addie Joe, and family of Sarat. 4 sons-in-law, Roland Emmanuel, also known as Fier of La Pointe Dennery, Thomas Joseph of New Orleans, Louisiana, Darius Plummer of Hartford, Connecticut, Augustine Edwin, also known as Nanny, from Cicero, but resides in Florida. 2 daughters-in-law, Claudia Louis of Crownlands, Bexar, Tasha Adrian of Crownlands, Bexar. Close friends of the family, Sophia Sandyford, also known as Joan of La Pointe Dennery, Veronica Prosper, also known as Vava of La Pointe Dennery, Barbara Louis and family of Crownlands, Bexar, Vicky Victor of La Pointe Dennery, Eva Felix of Bexar, Venetia Simon of Crownlands, Bexar, Donna Louis of Bexar and family. Also left to mourn Lucia Edgar of Toronto, Canada and family, Charles family of Labrie and Forester, Edgar family of Labrie and Forester, William family of Auger, Mark family of Auger. She was ama to everybody, both La Pointe Dennery and Crownlands. Other friends and family both here and abroad, too numerous to mention. The funeral service for Maria Louis, better known as Maclina Ama or Mason, will be held on Sunday, 16th April 2023 at the Zion SDA Church, L'Abbaye, Bexar, at 2 p.m. The body will then be laid to rest at the Bexar Cemetery. The body now lies at Lazarus Funeral Home, Vide Castries. May she rest in peace. Please note that buses number plates M1365, M1120, and M406 will be passing from 1 p.m. through La Pointe Dennery and Dennery Village to transport persons attending the funeral service.